Have you ever wondered where the ancient Israelites, also known as Hebrews or Jews, really come from? Well, get ready for a fascinating journey through time, where science and history meet. In this video, we'll explore the genetic roots of the ancient Israelites and discover how the genes of modern Jews connect with these mysterious ancestors. Using cutting-edge genome studies, we'll uncover the history of Jewish migrations and see how history, archaeology, and linguistics intertwine to paint a complete picture of our ancestry. It's like taking a time machine and peeking into the family tree of the ancient Israelites. So, let's dive in, because this journey promises to be epic. Jewish migration. It all starts way back in biblical times when the ancient Israelites were established in the land of Canaan. That's where they formed the Kingdom of Israel, with cities like Jerusalem and Samaria being the major centers of this civilization. But, like any good story, conflicts and challenges arose. The first major blow was the Babylonian conquest around the 6th century BCE, when many Jews were taken captive to Babylon. Imagine being uprooted from your land and taken to a completely strange place. That must have been quite a shock. But Jews are resilient, and even in exile, they maintain their traditions and faith. When they finally returned to their land, they rebuilt Jerusalem and the temple. However, peace didn't last long. In the following centuries, Jews faced new waves of conquest and domination, including by the Romans. This culminated in the Great Diaspora when the Romans destroyed the Second Temple in 70 CE and expelled many Jews from Judea. That's when the Great Dispersion around the world began. From that point on, Jews spread to various regions, each with its own saga. In Europe, the Ashkenazi communities emerged, flourishing in the Middle Ages. But life in Europe wasn't always easy. Jews faced persecutions, expulsions, and the horrors of the Crusades and the Black Plague, often being unjustly blamed for the misfortunes of the time. Meanwhile, in the Iberian Peninsula, the Sephardim were creating a rich and vibrant culture. But in 1492, the Catholic monarchs of Spain decided there was no more room for Jews, and the Spanish Inquisition began. Many were forced to convert or flee, taking their traditions to places like North Africa, Turkey, and the Balkans. Across the map, the Mizrahi Jews were rooted in the ancient lands of the Middle East and North Africa. They faced their own trials, especially with the rise of Islam and changing regional dynamics. Yet they continued to contribute culturally and economically to the societies they lived in. What makes all this even more fascinating is that despite these migrations and difficulties, Jews managed to maintain a common identity. It's as if each community was a fragment of a broken mirror, reflecting different aspects of the same story. Current genetic studies show that despite the long distances and different cultures they lived in, modern Jews still have a deep genetic connection with the ancient Israelites. It's proof of how strong roots are and how identity can survive any storm. So, if you've ever wondered how a people manage to maintain their identity through so many adversities, this story of Jewish migrations is the answer. Each movement, each new land, each new challenge has shaped our history in a unique way. And now, with science on our side, we're starting to see how all these pieces fit into a grand mosaic that tells our story of resilience and continuity. Let's continue exploring this incredible past together, because there's still so much to discover. Introduction to the genetics of ancient Israelites. We'll use cutting-edge technology to study genomes and uncover the history of Jewish migrations. It's like taking a giant magnifying glass and examining every piece of the ancient Israelite family tree. And we won't do this alone. History, archaeology, and linguistics are our partners on this journey, helping to weave this fascinating narrative, as dense and intriguing as the shadow of an ancient mystery. Just imagine, each piece of DNA is like a clue left by our ancestors, and we're going to follow them to understand how modern Jews connect with the ancient Israelites. It's like assembling a gigantic puzzle, where each piece reveals a new part of our history. So, hold on tight and get ready to be amazed, because this journey to the past promises to be one of the most incredible you've ever taken. Let's uncover the secrets hidden in our genes together and understand how our history has been shaped over the centuries. Ready to dive in? Let's dive deep into this genetic labyrinth. First, we'll take a look at the types of DNA tests used to understand all this. It might sound like science fiction, but these tests are real and reveal secrets that have been hidden for thousands of years. First, we have autosomal DNA, which is basically the mix of all the DNAs we carry. It's like each of us is a genetic soup. And guess what? Jewish populations tend to form very isolated groups. This means that even spread out across the world, Jews have maintained a unique genetic identity. It's almost like each of us carries a little piece of our people's history within us. Then there's mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA, which is only passed from mother to child. This means that by analyzing mtDNA, we can trace a direct line back to our maternal ancestors. Imagine being able to know where your great-great-great-grandmother from 1,000 generations ago came from. Lastly, we have the Y chromosome, Y-DNA, which is passed from father to son and helps trace paternal ancestry. Together, these tests give us a complete view of our genetic heritage. But wait, it's not just science that tells this story. We also need to talk about the main Jewish communities. Let's take a stroll through these incredible communities. The Ashkenazi, with roots in Central and Eastern Europe, the Sephardim, from the Iberian Peninsula and regions of North Africa and the Middle East, and the Mizrahi, originating in the ancient Middle East and North Africa. Each of these communities has unique cultural and religious traditions, reflecting their journeys through history. It's like each group is a different chapter in an epic book we're about to discover. Jewish communities. Now, what's really fascinating is how these communities, even separated by thousands of kilometers and different historical contexts, share a genetic closeness with Middle Eastern populations. This means that deep down, we all have a piece of that ancient land within us. And it doesn't stop there. Recent studies show there's an impressive genetic continuity between the populations of the Bronze Age, the first Israelites, and the modern Jews and Arabs living in the Levant today. Mizrahi Jews are the closest genetically to the ancient Israelites, but Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews also carry this heritage, mixed with European influences due to their migrations. Let's continue this incredible journey through the main Jewish communities, because each one has a fascinating story that connects with ours. Imagine, each community is like a distinct branch of the ancient Israelite family tree, with its own adventures and unique traditions. So, let's dive into the main Jewish communities and discover what makes each one so special. Imagine we're watching a great epic film, with three main stories intertwining to form the tapestry of our heritage. First, we have the Ashkenazi. These guys are known for their roots in Central and Eastern Europe. Think Germany, Poland, and Russia. That's where they come from. Over the centuries, the Ashkenazi developed a super rich and vibrant culture. They speak Yiddish, a language that's a mix of Hebrew and German, and have mouth-watering cuisine, like gefilte fish and matzo ball soup. But it wasn't always easy for them. They faced persecutions, expulsions, and of course, the horrific Holocaust. Even so, they managed to maintain their traditions and contribute immensely to science, art, and politics. It's a story of resilience that inspires anyone. Now, let's cross the map a bit and talk about the Sephardim. They come from the Iberian Peninsula, that is, Spain and Portugal, but also spread across North Africa and the Middle East. Sephardic culture is an explosion of flavors and sounds. Think Ladino music, a mix of Hebrew and Spanish, and a cuisine that combines the best of the Mediterranean and the Middle East. But in 1492, the Catholic monarchs of Spain decided to expel the Jews, and the Spanish Inquisition began. Many Sephardim were forced to convert or flee, spreading around the world and bringing their traditions to places like Morocco, Turkey, and Greece. It's like they planted cultural seeds in each new place they called home. Lastly, but certainly not least, we have the Mizrahi. These are the Jews from the ancient Middle East and North Africa, living in countries like Iraq, Iran, Egypt, and Yemen. Mizrahi culture is deeply rooted in the same lands where the ancient Israelites lived. They have unique musical traditions, a cuisine rich in spices and dishes like sabich and kuba, and religious rituals dating back to biblical times. Despite the changes and challenges throughout history, the Mizrahi kept alive a heritage as ancient as civilization itself. Now, what's really fascinating is how these three communities, despite their geographical and cultural differences, share a deep genetic and historical connection. It's like each one is a fragment of a broken mirror, reflecting different aspects of the same story. Genetic studies show that even separated by continents and centuries of history, they all maintain a strong link with the ancient Israelites of the Middle East. And think about it, by understanding these communities, we're really understanding ourselves. Each of us carries within us pieces of this rich and diverse history. When you look at traditions, cuisine, music, and even the words we use, you're seeing reflections of this incredible journey our ancestors traveled. So, if you're as excited as I am to continue this exploration, let's dive even deeper into the stories and traditions of these communities. Because understanding history is understanding who we are, and that's simply magical. Stay with me, because we still have a lot to discover in this genetic and cultural journey. What unites all these communities is their incredible resilience and ability to maintain their cultural identities, no matter where they are in the world. Genetic studies show that, even spread across the globe, they all share a deep connection with the ancient Israelites of the Middle East. Now, imagine this. By understanding the genetics of these communities, we are literally touching the roots of our own history. Each piece of DNA is a living connection with our ancestors, proof that despite distances and adversities, our heritage remains strong and united. It's as if each of us carries a piece of this epic story, a living testament to the incredible journey of the Jews over the centuries. So, if you've ever wondered how a people managed to maintain their identity through so many adversities, this story of Jewish migrations is the answer. Each movement, each new land, each new challenge shaped our history in a unique way. And now, with science on our side, we're starting to see how all these pieces fit into a grand mosaic that tells the story of our resilience and continuity. Let's continue exploring this incredible past together, because there's still so much to discover. And now, let's talk about genetic continuity between ancient and modern populations. Hey folks, let's continue our fascinating journey and dive deep into the genetic continuity between ancient and modern populations. This part of the story is full of mystery and connects us in a way that will leave you amazed. Recent studies have revealed something incredible. There is a remarkable genetic continuity between the Palestinian and Israelite populations of the Bronze Age and the current Jewish and Arab groups in the Levant. Just imagine, our genes are like an invisible thread that spans centuries, linking us directly to our ancestors. The Mizrahi Jews, those with roots in the ancient Middle East, are the ones who maintain the closest genetic proximity to the ancient Israelites. It's as if every cell in their body holds a millennia-old story, a living proof that despite changes, the essence remains. They carry the pure lineage of those who lived, loved, and fought in those lands thousands of years ago. On the other hand, the Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews, while also connected, show a slightly lesser genetic affinity. This is because their journeys led them to mix with European populations over the eras of diaspora. But don't get it wrong, this only adds layers of richness to our genetic history, showing how we are a tapestry of cultures and influences. This genetic link between past and present is a living testament to the persistence of this people. It's like a river flowing silently through the centuries, carrying with it the stories, the sorrows, and the victories of each generation. Each of us is a drop in this eternal river, keeping the flame of our heritage alive. And now I want to hear from you. What do you think of this discovery? Isn't it amazing to think that we carry the stories of our ancestors in our DNA? Leave your comment, share this video, and let's keep this conversation going. Your opinion is super important, and we want to know what you think about this genetic journey that connects us in such profound ways. So, stay tuned and don't miss the next chapters of this incredible saga. Together, we'll explore more mysteries, uncover more secrets, and celebrate the beauty of our heritage. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and share with anyone you think will love this story as much as you do. Let's spread this knowledge and keep the flame of our history alive. Until next time, folks.